You're ready.
Let me see mine. Oh, one, right? And Isabella's not coming.
Here's the latest one.
Thank you. Ms. Felicia, would you mind taking minutes today?
Okay.
Sorry, thank you. Prepare yourself.
Slowly.
I always do. As a matter of fact, I'm the one that slows everybody down on motion. All right, let's wait for Helen really quick and we'll go ahead and all right, so we're gonna go ahead and call the neighborhood improvement committee to order. It is 8:39 p.m. and Ms. Felicia, please call the roll.
Alicia Salazar, present. Helen Roldan, present. Pamela Corso, no. Javier Soto.
Spring.
Jesus Mendoza,
Present.
John Estrella,
Present.
Juan Estrada,
Present.
Mario Pineda, no. Luis Herrera.
Present.
Okay, we have four.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and proceed with order of business, the pros, addition, deletions. We have a few items to add. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So I wanted to add, I wanted to add, I had added something, I forget what the title is.
This one?
Yeah, it says this one. Okay, maybe you should go first.
No, I'm good. I'm good. What, you have any?
Nothing to
No?
So,
Nothing
yeah,
to add?
I see.
Felicia, anything to add?
No, I have a response to one of the things that we voted for.
Oh. Okay. Florida friendly landscaping.
Florida friendly landscaping.
And then if no one else is adding it, I'll add the dreaming green that we got via email.
Dream.
Dreaming green.
I like that one. So we're adding, what was that again?
Florida friendly landscaping.
You know, a lady that used to do this class for that. So. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, anyone else?
iguanas.
Iguanas?
Who?
Iguanas.
Iguanas?
Michelle, but
The solution. Remember what, what's his name?
Ron McGill,
Ron McGill said? Check it out.
Okay, anyone else? All right, so
So we're adding this to new business?
new business. So you have item 6B, Florida friendly landscaping. Which is all done. Then 6C, dream and green. This is all done. And D, 6D, Mendoza. B was dream and green.
No, B was Florida.
Sorry, yeah, I got it, thank you. Sorry. I was looking at B like it was A. Anything else? No? All right, I'll motion to add those. Second. Second by Jesus. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Against? All right, the ayes have it. We're gonna go ahead and move forward to public comments. Now we do have here the Officer Amador.
How's it going, everyone? I don't know if it's now or if it's just in reference to the bike rides and you guys were gonna talk about the golf carts too and.
So we didn't add that, but I think probably,
We should add it.
We should add
yeah, let's go ahead and. All right, so let's open up again. So it'll be E.
Golf cart.
Yeah. And the siren is run by Mario.
So bike and golf rides, or you gonna talk about both? Or
Bike
just
ride
golf?
and golf cart.
So bike rides,
The bike rides for sure, the golf are only if you guys are gonna talk about.
got it, okay, bike. Just put it on one, bike and golf cart. Right. All right, and I'll put Mark's not here, so I'll put Jordan on there. Put Jordan, put Jordan. All right, so we open that item. All right, so motion to approve B, C, D, E that we just read. Florida friendly landscaping, dream and green, iguanas and bike and golf cart rides.
Second.
Second, Rudy. Thank you very much. Mr. Allen. Right. So I motion again for the second one. All right, all in favor, say aye.
I'm.
Against? Okay, the ayes have it. So, all right, anybody from the public? Nope. Seeing none, we're gonna move forward. Closing public comments, approval of minutes from our regular meeting on 1/24/2023. Anyone had any questions, changes? Yes, Ms. Reed?
I read through it real quick, and the first thing that caught my eye was that the roll call, the chairman, then you put your name on it, and they put my last name, so they should have your name on it, because you're the chairman. Comma, and then,
Oh, yes.
didn't spell your name wrong. I mean, it's just, spelling is not that important, the content of the minutes was important, but just, I wanted to bring that up.
Okay, so that's the only, got it. Anyone else? Okay, is there a motion to approve the minute with a correction of under roll call?
Motion to.
Okay, motion by Helen,
Second.
Okay,
all right, any additional discussions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? All right, the ayes have it.
Whoever's taking note of that. If you want to send it to me and I'll send it to the secretary so that they can do the updates, or if you guys want to send it to them directly, that's fine too. Because we do need to have an
Writing
updated
very-
record.
You're writing very fast, so I can even read my writing, but, okay, it's just, I can give you this with the markups.
Is it more, it was more than one, or just that one?
No, it was,
Because I thought you made the comment that,
just misspellings and maybe,
okay,
permission and everything.
oh, yeah, I see the last name, yep. Got it, okay. All right, we're gonna move forward. Item 6A, H3 quarterly meeting, meet and greet. So we left last meeting, where we discussed, For those that were not here present, we talked about getting the HOA quarterly meetings is basically a meeting that was put together to find a connection between the HOHs of the town and the town itself. A lot of times, from what I heard, and I think Felicia was back in those days, there might have been complaints where the HOHs were not getting through staff or the town, so they wanted some kind of liaison. So we took on the neighborhood, which it used to be called what, Felicia? Beautification Committee?
Original name was Communication and Advisory Committee.
Advisory Committee, right. So basically what we do is we come up with a topic. It's quarterly, so it's 4 times a year, and we hold a meeting where we invite all the HOAs to come out, and whatever topic it is, we'll have the discussion in there. Typically, we try targeting topics that affect the HOAs, so that way we can get a better turnout on to the meetings. So, any memories, Carl, you back that of the different topics that we talked about? And I know we're going to choose a topic today, correct? We're going to finalize that. Is that correct? Yes? No? How are you thinking? Am I the only one having a blank here?
Yeah.
Discussion for the meeting.
Right,
For the
right. A topic. It's more of a topic. Yes, yes. So did anybody come up with any idea, anything that the HOH will be interested in?
What is the discussion?
So a lot of
I don't live in a HOH, so I don't know if anybody here lives in
the,
HOH.
the HOAs that are within the special taxing districts,
Right.
they always have complained about the guardrails, the operation of the guardrails, the level of service that they get from the vendor. So that's one of the topics that most likely they're very interested in.
So how do we, because, and correct me, I know
But
you
it
used to
doesn't
live here.
apply to-
Right, and no, not only that, how exactly can we help them? Because the last I checked, even though it goes through a special taxing district, and yes, the town manages, the funds and make the payment and all that, and, well, yeah, they are
Well, I
connected.
guess
so-
what we can do is educate them on how the whole special taxing district works for the HOA. And I know when I was having an issue with them, I looked at the contract and we called a meeting with the vendor. And we brought up to their attention the SLAs that they were missing, and the things that they were not doing, the things that they were supposed to be doing. So kind of like raise awareness of what is the expectation for those guardians. And then, if there's something that they would like to change, because that's the special taxing district is created to serve a purpose, but over time, priorities change and maybe they want to change something. And we're kind of like, let them know what is required to make a change. Like, I think the only thing that we can do is basically educate them on how it works.
Okay, so,
But that doesn't apply to all of them.
right, that's my only thing. There's only a handful of
We
that.
only have 4 or 6.
And actually, my memory is now, getting back to me, I think that what we talked about is that the first one was gonna be more of a general meet and greet. Not necessarily put a topic out there, but get the feedback from the community, right? Saying, hey, we have a meet and greet, meet our neighborhood improvement committee. We want to hear what kind of issues you have, and that we can, put it on our next HOA quarterly meeting so we can discuss it. Does that sound about right?
More of a mixture.
Right. Correct. Because right now what happens, and John, I know you weren't here, is if we pick the topic, what kind of turnout we're gonna get. So with a meet and greet, I think people have a better chance to say, okay, that sounds good. The guy that wants to talk about dogs in the community, even though he may not know that we can do something about it, but we want him to show up. Same guy that wants to talk about, the iguanas, or the guy that wants to talk about why is a rule. And most of the time, from experience, they'll probably come in and maybe 80% of the things that they're gonna complain about have nothing to do with the town and have to do more with their HOA. However,
Doesn't the HOA supersede anything that
They-
they're able to do?
they do it to a certain extent. But what happens is a lot of times this communities, they hit a brick wall with the HOAs. So what do? They knock on the door of the town and says, okay, well, I reached to the end here. I'm not getting, what can you do for me as a town? So, it's good to get them out and maybe understand the same way to understand a special tax district, know into what extent capacity, right, does the town or our committee can actually get involved in their business. And at that point, maybe there was something else that they didn't think that we can help them with, but they'll come it up. So does that sound about right?
Right, and I think the goal was to get them to engage in the conversation and
Correct.
participation.
So another topic that we talked about was the listing. I think it was about 2.5 or 3 years ago. We tried to, the neighborhood improvement, committee tried taking it over and helping the town update all their rosters for HOAs and board members and the whole thing. It was a mission and a half to say the least. So we realized the last meeting that it really, it wasn't in our place to go off and try to make these updates. But maybe by going out there and doing a meet and greet, maybe we'll get a lot more people, have a little signing sheet and give it back to the town and say, hey, look, these are the individuals. They did it, even though we know we can go to Sunbiz and see their corporate report, and we're gonna know exactly who the new president is. Because I know that we're targeting the entire board. That was gonna be a little more challenging, more of just have a filter with so that being said, I think unless you guys feel differently, I think the meet and greet, it's a good. Let the record reflect that Mr. Javier Ley Soto just walked in.
The other subject that we talked about was the LPR.
Right, which that's also LPR, with the LPR town-wise or LPR for these gated
For the
communities?
gated communities and the ones that are interested. And I think we have a couple of
License plate.
license plate rules.
Oh.
And I know the way.
License plate
rules.
And I think it would be important, like, for example, I'll tell you where I live, I live on the west side, and we've had some break-ins recently, which I've lived there 12 years, and over the past 6 months, we've had more break-ins in 6 months than we've had in 11.5 years. Is like, what's the literally step-by-step job of the guard at the gate? Because I think if we're gonna go down this path, I can tell you, at least where I live in Gramercy Park, that's one of the things that we kind of struggle with, is, okay, what is the proper protocol and the function of a guard at the gate? In other words, if I'm sitting within the guardhouse and I see a visitor, a resident come in and I do one of these, is that proper protocol? Or do I physically have to get up and get out? Because I can tell you where I live, that's a big problem that we have.
Is he before you go, is he under a neighborhood,
A special
special-
classification, no.
okay.
yours is different.
so you're in your case, and I'll answer that question, that's right down my alley. In your case, you have to go directly to your HOA or more to your management, office and say, hey, can you please show me what the scope of work is of this guard? Is it now, what he's talking about is literally it's more of a deterrent than anything else, because it's a public street, so you can't stop them. So it's more just to, go in, record the tag and wave it back. They literally don't have to go and see who you are. In your community is different.
Private.
Correct.
Yeah,
Your community is a private community, so they do have to stop you, but you have to check with them what are their contractual obligations. Are they there just to wave at you? Are they really to stop? Yes, sir. How can I help you? Are you here to see Mr. Estrada? Great, let me have your ID. Do you ever get a call?
Estrada's over there.
I mean, sorry.
I'm just kidding.
It's not your fault, man. I would tell you guys to look that and sound that similar. And be back to back on the. Do they ever call you?
So
for visitors?
technically, yes, that's supposed to be the protocol,
Okay,
but it's just like everything, like it's like everything around.
right.
The special taxi district, the guard gates, they have what they call the man post, and those are the rules of the checklist.
Got it.
And every guard, security guard that works, the guard gate is supposed to follow. And the special taxing district, they take pictures of the plate.
Right, and that happens, so we're looks right.
But yours in,
That's pretty good, but
Wood Pond,
do you know if any of these places have like a neighborhood watch? Like a.
Some do.
Some do.
Some do.
Once a year.
Because you're not visiting.
This will be, the meet and greet will be a good place for the management company or the board members who play to attend and because there's things that they can learn from the special effects. In the same way, we can learn from, you know, from the private communities as well.
So in your case, you basically have to knock on your management office, or I'm sure they're not there. So you would have to call them and say, look, you know, we continue to have issues with this, they're not consistent. I'm gonna tell you, that's everywhere. It's, and with security industry, it's very hard, very tough to get. Like a lot of the industry, but it's very hard to get them to be consistent. It's a word, right? To be consistent. Pick up the phone for every visitor, so just wave them down.
Right.
I'm faced with that at work at times, you know, with front desk, which is similar to with security.
I get calls all the time when we got almost on the door, door dash, fix it, and I don't know what anything.
Right.
All right, any other, we were talking about, Javier, about our topic for the quarterly. So basically, we discussed last time, we wanted, instead of a specific topic, we're gonna do more of a meet and greet. So we haven't done it in some time, just so people can come up and just kind of hear them out, see what the issues is with the HOA. And a lot of times I was explaining to John that they'll complain about more things that have to do with the HOA that nothing has to do with the town, but we still wanted to come out, hear what they have to say, and then there's, see if there's anything that we can help and come up with a next topic. You know, at that point, if we see a red flag on a repetitive issue, then we can definitely.
Topic issues.
Yep.
So we need a motion to.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it now. Yes.
Well, what do you just say on that? I think what would be part of that, what I think would make it good is to have like forms that people can fill out to put out the topics. It'd be hard for us to be able to collect it, and then we can collect, and then that we can review it for our next one.
Okay, so
And just giving
Let's
them
call
like
it
maybe
topic
top 3
forms.
topics. Don't give them a lot, don't allow them to do a laundry list. I would ask for their top 3.
so top 3.
Yeah, that people, and have just a simple form. For people, it doesn't have to, it can be like a half pager. That people can fill out.
3, that'll be great. So this is the first one. We gotta do 3 more. Then
Yeah, there you go.
Right, no, and we'll have enough, if all of a sudden it starts too many of the same, then we'll have our first one or second or
Or
third.
if there's 2 smaller topics, you can always bring them into one event, depending on what the topics are.
What it is, correct. Okay,
That way, nobody here has to really remember exactly what everybody was talking about and stuff like that.
all right, so, I'll motion, I 100%. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, no, trust me, I know what you're doing, been there, done that, so motion to have our next HOA quarterly meeting. Topic to be meet and greet. Okay, and to include with the notice of meeting. Let me take that back because I don't want to make this, I should make this a running motion. I'll add just a comment so that will, because that should be part of the motion. That's too much. So the motion, it basically is, motion just our next HOA quarterly, topic. It should be meet and greet. That's it. Is there a second?
Well, we can discuss about.
Right, now- Yeah, that, but I don't want to make that part of it because then it'll make it a running motion and there's no need for it. That's just,
The motion is the next HOA meeting.
quarterly meeting. Okay. Meet and greet. Is there a second?
Second.
Javier? All right, any additional discussions?
Do you envision like a PowerPoint or just like maybe a brief presentation and then having people like speak up?
I said just, something very relaxed and laid back. We're gonna have the papers with us, right? And then once we collect them, either be from the town or that day, we'll have some forms. Maybe we'll have more than one person, maybe kind of tally it. So we'll give ourselves, 5 minutes to see which topic at that point really has the most flags, and basically we'll let them know, look, this is more than anything, it's honestly just to talk. It's not necessarily more of a meeting. We'll just announce it at the beginning and that's pretty much it. It's not really us standing at a podium and giving a meeting, just talking to the people, very relaxed. So, they feel free to talk about whatever. Yeah, pretty much. Exactly.
So
We're gonna
maybe-
invite, sorry.
Maybe, because I know typically we meet beforehand. I forget what we decided for this one. We were gonna meet before the meeting.
Yeah, that will be a regular meeting.
Okay, well, what if we did after and then we can talk about like,
Typically historically it doesn't work because these meetings end up topic or no topic, they end up going pretty lengthy. So we typically want to do the NIC right at the beginning. Most probably will be a one item kind of thing, short, sweet, during that meeting and then go into the quarter.
Okay. That's gonna be.
March 15th.
So I need to for you guys, so that I'm following along, you're gonna be meeting, having your regular meeting
Right.
and the quarterly. at the
Correct.
same day.
Correct.
So what times are you looking at for each?
Typically, in this case, I think we talked about starting a little sooner. So that day will probably be like a 7 o'clock meeting. Where we have 10-15 minutes, 7 o'clock, our regular NIC meeting. And then right after that, we'll start the HOA. No, we typically do it at
Chambers.
Chambers.
So we cannot host NIC meeting that day at 7 PM because there's already a scheduled. There's already a
But we can
scheduled
have ours
meeting.
over
No, remember, we do it at the
Yeah,
Chambers.
but we can't stream both at the same time.
We need
Like
to
we can
stream.
only have, if it's for the meeting, yes.
I don't
For the
think
meeting,
we
you'll
have
have to
to.
stream.
I don't think like we legally have to. Like for sunshine.
I don't know,
I
if
mean,
it's
the meeting-
something it's a town thing.
Yeah, for the meeting we do. Yeah, for the meeting we do.
So whenever there's
Before
another
we-
one, we just can't have, we can't have two committee meetings. And right now we have a 7 PM
When is that meeting over?
at 8:30,
What is it?
youth activities.
So maybe in that case, we could do what Helen was saying and do 7 to 8:30,
The quarterly,
the quarterly. Right? So the only thing that we will have to find out if is that meeting needs to be televised.
the quarterly,
Yes.
no, that, you guys would decide that. 'Cause that's not that's more like an event, it's not the committee meeting.
Actually, no, double check. It is an official meeting.
Well, so you guys wanna make motions and all that? Like
We
you're
don't,
gonna follow
we don't, but I do have to provide an agenda.
Right, but are you providing an agenda because it's just programming for the event or is
No.
it a committee meeting?
It's called it's an NIC HOA quarterly meeting. Yes, it's an official NIC meeting.
So you're gonna follow Robert's
Exactly.
rules of order,
100%.
public comments are gonna be kept. to
100%. 100%. I have to follow the entire thing, yes.
Okay, then if that's the case, you guys cannot have that day.
Can you, I mean, it doesn't have to be for this one, but can you check to see if does the town have like a resolution or something where like we need to do this?
I'll send you guys an official email yesterday, but I've had this conversation recently because it's happened with a couple of committees. But I'll send you an official email yesterday, tomorrow, so you guys have it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you just say yesterday. You sent one, I missed that one. Okay,
But if that's, like, if your quarterly is going to follow,
we used to, one of these,
Did?
where you're at it, double check, because we used to. I've never, every time I do an HOA quarterly meeting, this is exactly
well,
what I
that's
put
what you guys
together.
intend to, is what I'm trying to get at. You guys
Right.
intend to follow this.
Well, it's not that it's intent, it's what has been done, since I've been in this
Okay.
committee. So it hasn't been done different. Now, maybe it was just done for a formality purpose. And if that was the case, then we don't need to record the meeting. So in that case, then we'll do that. We'll flip them. We'll do the HOA quarterly at 7, from 7 to 8:30. I think an hour and a half should be enough time. And then at 8:30, we'll do a quick NIC. Is that okay with you guys?
So.
No,
if
It's
there-
8:30 anyway.
Right. Okay,
Now, just because I don't wanna delay you guys because March is already here. What is the tentative date that you guys wanna look at if that doesn't work out? For the reason that I'm just saying.
What
Like
date are we
if this
looking at?
date.
No, on that date, then,
I'm sorry.
and why would it not work out?
Because from what you're telling me.
Oh, I see. We
it's
have
a-
to
it's a
record. Got it,
meeting, so
got
then
it.
Would have to be recorded and,
Got it.
so I'm just asking from now so that I can schedule you guys in, what
Do
other
you
date
have
do you
anything
wanna
available
look at?
the week after? Like, are there any block dates?
Keep in mind that's spring break.
Or is it the week after that?
So March 27, 29.
Those are all available?
No, I'm asking if that's the one year.
Yeah,
The 29th is the Wednesday.
or, I mean, or,
28, 29, I'm not. 29 or 30, I'm not.
or another day, I mean, the week that we would have had the meeting, so like the 13th through the 17th.
That week is pretty, open.
It's open?
Yeah,
Which one?
the week of 27, 28, 29.
Okay.
I'm looking at those 3 days and they are
Can you check the 14th?
of April?
March?
No, March.
Oh, okay.
Council meeting.
Yeah, council meeting.
The 16th or Thursday? Huh? You can't do the 16th?
How about the 8th?
That's like.
Oh, I can't. do that day.
The eighth, we have a March, we
Yeah.
have a, it's-
We're gonna have to.
And you guys want to do it on a weekday, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking because I don't know the format of this.
Yeah, no, we can say it.
Okay, we can look at April.
Yeah, that's the only, yeah, so we have no choice.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at the first week of April,
The 5th?
the first week of April.
the HOA or the NIC.
For both, right? Or I guess.
At
That's
that point in-
Yeah.
Yeah, the third is available, Monday the third is available. And Wednesday the fifth is available as
How
well.
about the
Did you
6th?
say it was Passover?
Good Friday is on the 7th.
And Thursday, April sixth is available as well.
Before you know, we're sitting already on our April meeting.
Maybe it's the April meeting date instead. Might as
No,
well
we're gonna be sitting in the same, we're gonna be sitting in the same situation because our April
All the
meeting,
meetings.
there's another committee before
Let
us.
me- Sometimes they-
How about the 12th? Check, no, hold on,
April 12th?
wait, 13.
Yeah,
That's available.
yeah, that's available.
Yeah, are you guys, April 13, is that okay?
That's clear with me, actually.
I'm good.
Probably better for me.
April 13th, that's.
So
Saturday for the
I'll-
HOA.
Yes,
I'll send you guys an email tomorrow confirming. If we can keep it for the original date you guys wanted for, or if not, if we have to go to April.
Okay, so we have 2 dates. to
Oh.
consider.
Either keep it on
Cute.
March 5th. or
Okay, let me write that down. The 15th,
It's like the day before.
I think, April 3rd. It's the 3rd, right?
before
13th.
taxes.
Two weeks.
Straight, Mike, everybody.
First option. Second option. Okay,
actually, you know what? Why don't we do something? We're gonna go for the safe and just go for April.
Okay,
Yeah, I think. it'll be best.
okay.
Yeah, because I just realized that on the 15th. It's a huge conflict. I don't want to do without these. Good Lord.
Wait, we were looking at April.
No, I'm saying in
March.
March. Yeah, I would say definitely let's go to April.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, don't even do the 15th of March. Let's go straight for
April
April.
13th.
April 13th. You with that? Sure. Okay,
so we cross out the 15th.
yeah, cross out completely the 15th.
So what room am I booking for you guys?
Always out.
Council chamber?
Yes,
And again, 7 to 8:30 the quarterly and 8:30 suits your meeting.
so we'll do NIC at 7 PM here. Yes, 7 PM in this room, NIC. And then we'll do 7:30. Seven, right, no, 7:30 to
The HOA.
8:30. 7:30 to 8:30, yeah,
It's
1
only
hour,
immediately.
yeah.
Are we gonna have like wine or what are we gonna do?
Refreshments, I don't know, refreshments.
It's already planned.
Hey, do we have to budget that? Refreshments,
No, we haven't.
it's already included.
All right, so let me know when you're ready, Felicia, take your time, we're not in a hurry.
Okay, so our first motion stays, right?
Well, I haven't,
We're gonna amend it.
I haven't done the date, I already did the first motion of the topic.
Okay.
That one, that's the one that we're doing now, the topic, we haven't done the date. So let me just close that one, so we don't have to be going back and forth, let's just close that one, so we can have.
So,
The motion was,
main
the
motion-
topic.
the main motion
right,
was to have our next HOA quarterly meeting to be a meet and greet.
correct, and now we're doing, we motion, we second, right? And we had the discussion, now we're gonna go ahead and open it up for voting. Okay, so seeing that there's no additional comments, or discussion, all in favor say aye. Against? So the ayes have that. Now, the next motion, when you're ready, is going to be to set a date and time for the next HOA quarterly meeting, which will take place for 13/2023.
Finally,
Hold on, let me use, I'm gonna do something else with you. Okay, and our regular April NIC meeting. So what I'm doing, guys, is I don't know if you noticed, we're not gonna need to meet on the 19th. Right, so on the 13th, we're already doing our monthly and our quarterly.
Right.
So then, let me know when you're ready for the check. 7 PM. Just put NIC meeting. And 7:30 through 8:30 HOA quarterly meeting. I'm gonna go over it again, okay? So
we can read it back.
go for it.
The next motion is to set a date and time for the next quarterly meeting to take place
What? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
on April 13th, 2023. And our neighborhood
NIC,
NIC
Regular meeting.
meeting, or regular, I couldn't read what I just wrote. Regular. Regular NIC meeting at 7 PM and 7:30 to 8:30, the HOA board meeting.
Right, is there a second? Second by Felicia. Okay, any additional discussion? We're good with that, guys? I think it's gonna be good. An hour, we'll do a meeting, and that way I think 30 minutes or an NIC, we don't have to be rushing either. We have something important to discuss. We can go from there.
Awesome.
Okay, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? All right, the ayes have it. Okay. All right, moving along. Next item. It's a 6C, no, excuse me, 6B. Florida friendly landscaping.
Yeah.
Miss Roldan.
So we received an email from US, IFAS extension, go Gators, regarding, Florida friendly landscaping. So We had a presentation, I want to say about a year ago, a year and a half ago maybe, by a different group, to talk about like the Florida friendly fertilizer ordinance. And so this would be something that probably touches on it, but a little bit different. So, I was looking into what program they're, what UF, offers. So they go to different municipalities and they do different workshops. So they do it for free as part of like their grant funding, et cetera, to discuss a bunch of different things. One of the topics is Florida friendly landscaping. So, they came to us with two different ideas, on that topic. So I wanted to see what you guys thought about it. Is it something that we want to bring to the community? There's no cost. It's just a matter of they can come. We encourage the town to promote it, invite people here to learn about it. So the first one is Introduction to Florida Friendly Landscaping. I'll read very briefly what it says. Learn all about landscaping common practices, specifically how to create a sustainable landscape. We introduce participants to the program, review 9 principles that will help you create a beautiful, sustainable landscape that can save you time, energy, money while protecting water resources and the environment. That's one topic. There's another topic about redesigning your landscape so that it fits the 9 principles of Florida friendly landscaping. So attracting native wildlife, beautifying your home. And again, like the whole idea is you're saving energy, resources while, adhering to the principles. So, I think it's worthwhile. I wanted to hear what you guys thought. They have other topics that I think would be interesting. Like they offer composting classes, so people can learn how to compost at home. They do like, how to garden certain things, how to attract butterflies to your home, how to address water issues with like pests, landscape, let me see what else they have here. Pollinator plants, like, they basically, they teach us how to work with like plants, nature. And yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's like the one that they offered, off the bat, the Florida friendly landscaping, but we can go through like some of the other topics. I think it might be worthwhile.
I like the idea of the introduction to the 9 principles. I mean, like garden club, we did it years ago, and I think it's something that people should know about. I would think that one.
So I have 2 questions. Is one, how much advance notice do they need before they can put on it, before they can schedule it? And then secondarily is, how long are their presentations generally?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I can ask. I can't imagine it would be longer than like an hour or 2 hours, but I can.
The only reason I'm at, look, I'm 100% for it. I think it's great. I'm just asking just so we understand, because I think what we may be able to do is do multiple events.
Mhm.
If they're willing to come in a couple of times, I think it'd be great to have kind of like on a monthly basis, having a different program for them.
Mhm.
That we could just put on.
Yeah, I
It's
noticed.
not an official meeting, so.
They do some of these like at different libraries throughout the county. So usually when I see like events at libraries, it's about an hour. So I would say it's probably that, but I can follow up with them.
Yeah, because we could probably, I'm just thinking, either at the Mary Collins or over at the Youth Activity Center, or even at Royal Oaks, that has the sports stuff, but even, or here, where they can just have a, depending on the size of the groups, or we can host up something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Since you're saying Mary Collins, for how long, so, just keep in mind, just keep in mind, obviously you have to keep in mind however long they need, but also try to let me know with as much advance notice as possible so that we can get you guys in whenever you want to be there. Because there's a lot of programming going on between the seniors and the kids and summer and all that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is to find out what their lead time is anyways, to be able for their schedule.
But if you wanted me to like hold a date or something, just let me know.
Awesome. I will say, just so we can like, maybe there's something we'd prefer if we bring them in. So the main like areas that they focus on is the Florida friendly landscaping. They do different water conservation. So if like we want to do more water, we can ask them to do that. Pollinator programs, environmental. So that's like where the composting, recycling, etc. And then they do a home gardening workshops. So edible gardening, container gardening, what to plant now in Miami-Dade County, preserving your soil, So,
Very resourceful.
Yeah.
It's been before and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to the website constantly.
Yeah.
What I think might be a good idea is for our March meeting,
mhm,
is to try to bring some dates, maybe that they have, maybe about the next 4 months or something like that. Because I think it would be great even to have ready for our meet and greet with the HOAs.
Right.
To promote it there, because that's what's, a lot of the HOAs like that,
mhm.
and their folks are gonna be liking that, so that way they can take it to their community and be like, hey, look, come check this out. Because I know definitely in my HOA, one of the biggest debates is what's appropriate plants, what to do, what not to do.
Mhm. Okay,
and whatnot.
Yeah, which I think you said earlier that they also help making a decision with which plants are more durable or appropriate for the weather here and the conditions.
you know, there's something really cool that we do, 'cause I went to a summit, I think the Biscayne Bay Health Summit last year. They were there, and they do something where like, if there's like an issue with your trees at home or your plants. But you're not sure what it is, they'll like, you can send your soil to them and they'll like actually test it or like they'll test your plants. So it's just like a cool thing that they just do.
They do a lot of
Yeah.
One of the things I know I found out a while ago, because of one of my neighbors, it was, they actually test insects depending on, they have one, there's actually based out of, I think it's in Broward. They have a termite, specialist, and you can actually send them a specimen of your termite, and they'll tell you what kind of termite and how to address it, how to get rid of it, eradicate it. And all these things, and they like to do that because they also are tracking populations.
Right.
So they do that for a lot of different aspects.
I love it. Okay.
Do you wanna make a motion?
Yeah, so I guess my motion will be, I'm gonna,
Before you do the motion, so Felicia, she read a few topics. Which one do you think, and I trust your opinion, we should go for that first meeting?
Introduction. You need to know where the principles. Now that I know it by heart, but I know where to find information on their website, but a lot of people don't know. I think it's one of them is water conservation, the other one is,
They need a topic though, for the meeting.
yeah, so that one would be just the standard introduction to Florida farming.
Got it.
living. Yeah,
Okay. Awesome, go for it.
okay. So, my motion is I'll reach out to USIFA. To schedule, a Florida friendly landscaping workshop for the town. And I'll come back with dates of the March meeting.
presentation.
I'll second that motion.
Reach out to the Florida University to schedule we're gonna do the introduction.
Yeah,
Florida friendly.
Landscaping presentation to the town. And then. Okay,
yeah.
Every second.
seconded by.
All right, any additional discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Against? All right, the ayes have it. Thank you, Ms. Well done. Next item, Drummond Green. Ms. Hold on again.
So we got an email from Isle, yesterday, regarding Dreaming Green about a resident who went to a workshop hosted by Dreaming Green. And, you know, to consider if that's something that we would also like to do for the town. So I figured, because I've worked with them in the past, I would talk a little bit about my experience, and see like what we think. It's not a free program. When I worked for North Bay Village, they came to us and they said, hey, we have a grant. We'd love to offer this workshop for the community for free. I think the price tag, without the grant is about $2,000. So I'm not sure if we can get something like this for free, it just depends on like where their funding is. But if they are able to do it, it's a great workshop. It's about 3 hours. It's pretty intense, but they bring experts from throughout the county to talk about different topics about, water conservation, energy, how to recycle. Like, I honestly, I've been recycling wrong. And so like that workshop for me it opened my eyes. Like, yeah, plastic, like, I used to like recycle like plastic, like butter or whatever, like those boxes, you can't. It can only be bottles in Miami-Dade County. If it's plastic, it can only be bottles. If it's not a bottle and it's plastic, you cannot recycle it. So something like as simple as that, like,
It has a triangle on the bottom?
no, it can only be bottles.
The plant doesn't process. Well,
Yeah.
I know it's not.
In Miami-Dade County, it's not only bottles. Literally, if it's plastic, only bottles, right? So yeah, things like that.
That's the only thing that goes in recycling?
If it's plastic, it's all, there's 5 different like things that they can recycle, but if it's plastic, it's only things with a bottle, like bottles.
I think they have one.
Yeah. Yeah, like you can recycle aluminum, blah, blah, but if it's plastic, only bottles, right? It doesn't matter according to them. But
Because the thing is that from what I've understood from what I've heard in the past, is each of the different types of plastics are a different type of plastic.
Density.
The bottle, it's not even the density, it's just the type of plastic, like they'll have a number inside of the little triangle thing. And that tells you the specifics of it, and the bottles are always done the same because of the way that they're made and because they have to be they're hygienic and whatnot in the bottling style. So it's the specific type of plastic that they can actually recycle.
so anyway, even to people that like, I thought I knew how to recycle, I didn't know how to recycle, like something as simple as that, like they do a really good job at explaining like things for the community. Through their program, they also bring things like light bulbs so that you can start replacing like they'll give you light bulbs at this workshop. They'll give you light bulbs, they'll give you
How many?
I think it's like not that many. But they'll give you a few, they'll give you LED
Yeah,
light,
for the
yeah.
whole family. We'll get one each.
They bring light bulbs, what else? They bring you like night lights, like energy saving night lights for your house. Like they bring you like a really nice goodie bag actually. Shower heads, yeah, they bring a shower head,
También.
yeah,
You pay for it.
literally. Yeah, it's pretty great. So, I mean, I don't mind reaching out to them. I just know that it's not free, unless if they have a grant. So I can look into it and get back to you guys if that's something you're interested in.
And how do we fund this again?
So it's great.
She's gonna find out if whether or not they have a grant.
Got it.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
That part, got it.
probably not gonna be financially feasible.
right.
Because we don't have a budget.
But I don't know if you got any other information other than what you sent us.
I personally with them in the past, but no. I
Okay.
just, it was a senior that went to Giraffe,
Okay,
that slide, he's been asking, like, everyone sees me at the bank, but he's asking me, and I'm like, let me get with NIC.
Okay. Cool.
You can just follow up and see, let us know at the table.
Okay, awesome. So
Was the motion?
I don't think we need,
I don't think
Just
there's.
table to the next.
I just, since we got the email, I wanted to bring it up.
Good. Next item. Iguanas.
Next item, 6D, iguanas, Mr. Mendoza.
I saw, with the cold front that we had in January, I think we all saw in the news, they want us falling off the trees and all that. And I'm talking to neighbors, a lot of them, they feel that they want us are really invasive, they're actually an invasive, species, and they don't have a natural predator, so they multiply and, they can, they carry salmonella and diseases, bacteria. In my house, I experienced them as I work from home. Sometimes I go and get a coffee in the kitchen and I see them, they come from one side of the yard, take a dip on the pool. And when they exiting, they decide to do their business and it's disgusting, right? So, and then I came across the city of Miami Beach, decided to hire, wildlife contractor that eliminates them from public parks, waterways, and I wanted to bring it to the community to see if that's something that we wanted to push forward for for the council to look at, see if there's an opportunity for that. Yes.
Question is. Patch, that's in my rates, who's gonna patch those?
No, so what the city of Miami Beach did is that they hired a company for exotic species, and they kind of like patrol the, because you can hunt them. There's no the wildlife commission allows you to, like Ron said in the workshop, get them ready and cut them in half.
More fast.
So
I've seen very
I don't know the
exotic
cost,
ones,
so-
dragons, something like that.
right, so I don't know the cost of it, but if it's cost prohibitive, at least to bring awareness on, you know, the potential impact to the community. Not only do they, you know, around your house and become an nuisance, but they also, they dig holes, and sometimes the, you know, sidewalk collapses because they dig this hole, or fences fall over.
Mhm.
Is it, they're on, most of the time they're in the trees, but they also have the ability to dig
Yeah,
holes.
years ago, we had the fishing tournament at the dock here. And then at the end, everything was quiet and we did a huge splash on the canal. And when we looked, it was an iguana. Went across.
And they keep getting bigger and bigger.
And I said, oh my God, they were just looking at us and waiting for us to leave, so we could just jump in the water. But it was like huge one.
Yeah, so I'll say that if you guys had joined us on the January bike ride, that was super cool. There was a lot of them that were on the ground.
Yeah,
You missed that, right?
it's too cold.
But in addition to that, what I would say, you know, the thing is probably getting together. Yeah, they've been to all of them so far.
I know.
Is maybe even working with the Grams if we're gonna do something like that, because I know that if you guys driven by the golf course.
Yeah.
For 154 the Palmetto, they got hundreds of them. And you can see them, there's hundreds of them just by the lake, and you know that they got tons more.
Right on the sidewalk, they come up.
I would even look at, there's individuals out in the Hialeah area that specialize in collecting them because they have actually, they use it as a food delicacy.
Yeah.
And they have restaurants that do it, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about it too.
Chicken,
Hmm.
I seen the pictures.
Alligators taste like chicken. And I've had some that do.
So, I'm okay. I think it's definitely a good initiative. I'm gonna tell you that it's gonna be a very difficult one, very hard. We've been there, we've done that. It's kind of those, with the ducks. It's a big pill to swallow, to be quite honest with you. But I don't want you to get discouraged. I think my approach would be first contact that company, see if we can get out, you know, contact information. Ask them if they're willing to come out and give a presentation. And maybe we can make that one of our HOA quarterly meetings topic.
Yeah, I would also, when you speak with them, is just get the current status of it, because I don't know if it was Miami Beach or which municipality that had done it. That gotten used for it because of the way that they were eradicating, they were using like pellet guns.
Right.
And so folks were not very happy with, a lot of residents were very appreciative because they were just, shooting them outside. Or they have like a little small 22, very low caliber rifle that they were using to shoot across the canals and stuff. And so a lot of people, there was a lot of pushback from a PR standpoint. So it was, so that I know that they, from what I recall, from what I saw lately, some news, they had to modify the way that they were trappings.
Right.
To take them live, and then they were, they do whatever it is that they need to do otherwise. But just finding out what their how they handle it now.
Well, trapping, I think that's a very good.
Was that?
So we get called all the time because.
Please tell me that for iguanas.
The windmill, well, no.
Okay,
Not-
sorry,
not-
absolutely.
I've gotten calls like that person. No, not in the town. Whatever company they're using at windmill gate, when they come out, they use BB guns and rifle stuff, and we always get the calls. And we're out there, we're the company, whatever, we're eradicating. So we feel like eventually we might get the same problem here in the town as the beach, somebody might come out and say, oh, media, and they're using these, barbaric
Yeah.
guns to kill, these animals and all that. So,
Yeah. Well, and that happened, any spring was the city, well, I don't know, they were one of them. They,
When I go to work up in the Miami River, you can see them in the morning, just.
no, but Miami Springs, they made like international news because they were trapping raccoons and like PETA got after them and like that was the whole thing. Yeah, but I don't know, I guess like my only thing is like, I almost don't, I don't know if we solve it, right? It's like,
Yeah.
it's everywhere. Like, I feel like it has to be like a county-wide effort or
Yeah.
something.
I guess they'll migrate from all the municipalities, so they follow the waterways and,
Right.
connect to it, so.
Well, a long time ago, somebody dumped some piranhas. And luckily they got rid of them, but then someone falling in the canal and eaten by piranhas.
Yeah, that or not, yeah.
And they're very difficult to, trap. I try to trap the one that was basically on the boat. I put.
So that's the reason why they use these kind of, it's called
I
tools.
put a big trash can with a little stick and a rope and put like lettuce, tomatoes.
That was a rat,
They don't fall for that. They're too smart.
they eat a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
Yes,
And they-
and my neighbor would see them. I mean, my wife would see them. The fact that the neighbors would put plants on there, she was sitting there, just tearing it up. And she was wondering, one time, my wife goes, oh, by the way, your plants are getting anybody wanted. She's like, thank you for letting me know. I was wondering where they're going. She would put a new plant in their little pot. She would put them there just to have something in the backyard. It was a feast.
Have you ever encountered them in person? Like the one that you're after?
No, that one I chased it with a glue and.
No, but the entire reason, you changed it. So,
When they're run, turn left.
They are-
When they eat their place, I don't know what.
And they do get big, by the way. I have a video that my 2 doors down got, and this was about, no joke, 7, almost 8 feet long. It looked like an alligator.
And then
So far.
my poor guy told me to get, fake snakes, so I went into Amazon and bought a couple of them.
Wait, this is like a really big issue for you, like.
It's disgusting, like
Yeah.
they give you this little.
yeah.
No,
So-
girl, I-
So Jesus, I don't think we need a motion. I think it's more, let's call the company,
Yeah. that's-
right? Table the item,
Yeah,
same thing as
table
with the prior one. Call them, see what they can do for us. How they approach a meeting, first and foremost, on how they function to the point like, okay, we can bring BB guns out to the community. But, and then maybe that will be an item to bring more into the council, say, okay, look, we have this information. This way, because we definitely don't have any budget for that.
Right. Yeah.
Going to the county, I think it's a big shot. Yeah, so maybe we can take little bites at it first, see what we can do as a community. And maybe at that point, we'll bring the county and say, okay, look, this is what we're doing. How can we collaborate or, right? Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Oh.
Awesome.
Oh,
Maybe they, because they have drugs.
All right,
So we're gonna
so,
talk about table the item.
yes, so we'll move it to next item, 6E. So we have Officer Amador, basically overheard, correct me if I'm wrong, overheard something with, along the lines of bike rides, golf rides, all that kind of stuff that we're brainstorming to see how we can either incorporate them or have them separate. So I know you have some information with regards to that, so.
Yes, Officer Amador, don't know me. For the bike rides, this last bike ride was great. I'm sure you guys were super happy with the turnout. Whatever happened from the ones that we've been having before to this one, whatever changed, that needs to happen again. Because it was like night and day, right? No. Something else had to have changed. Because we had a bunch of people and we had rides that we had no one in, and people want to come out, So whatever happened, please, continue that. The next one is the 18th.
Yes, I just looked at it.
Yes, the 18th. Okay, so we wrote that, today, and we made a quick, just a quick modification because it's at night, right?
It's
At what time is it?
6 o'clock.
26.
1800.
So, we made a quick modification because it was gonna go through Main Street,
Okay,
on the return, and at that time, you have them, most likely, they would have already closed it, I think, or at that time, they closed it.
got it.
So,
Saturday.
yeah, so we have to go around it, you know.
Makes
because
sense.
If not,
Yeah.
just go through there. I mean, that's all I have for the bikes. I don't know if anybody else.
With regards to golf cart, I know that we more brought it up the last time. And I think it was just doing probably more, some legwork with regards to logistic and what's allowed, what's not allowed. It'll be around the same idea or concept of the bike ride. I know that we even talked about food or, kind of what we do with the culinary bike ride incorporated as well. So honestly, we don't have much information. He's the one I was gonna bring back what he acquired. So I think we're good.
What I talked to him, oh, I'm sorry. What I talked to him about was that, we definitely need to make sure that any golf cart event needs to stay as a golf cart event.
Not
No
mixing.
commingling with bikes,
Right.
scooter, cars,
He
nothing.
did mention that.
Why?
Yeah. Because of the safety aspect. The safety aspect, yeah, because if you put for the bikes, when you stick the golf cart in, it's like if you put a car basically into the
Got
ride.
it.
And we don't want
Oh
anybody
my
getting hit, run over. So just, the golf carts themselves already have their own issue because people get super happy in them and then they crash into each other. But at a slow pace, if that happens, there shouldn't be any problems, but we don't want that to happen right with anybody on a scooter. You imagine a scooter getting hit or. Right, so that was really the only concern that we have is that how they're gonna get there is another issue, but that really needs to be talked about, I guess, more. Like if you guys have an exact date or if you guys plan something out, is how people are gonna get there because, if they don't have a tag or if they don't have a decal, then. They could technically be in the ride because we're gonna provide the security for the ride itself. But legally, they couldn't be able to get to the ride unless they have a decal or a tag. Right, unless they're on a trailer. So, and that's a big thing, we don't want people like riding around illegally because they're gonna get to the parade or whatnot,
We did talk about that as well, that it was actually a path for registration. So, it wasn't only that, it was like, hey, come out or have a booth from the town with somebody, registering there to get their decal.
So what's the difference between being registered with the town and being street legal?
Well, street legal is the process that
Motor vehicle.
Right, the motor vehicle, so once you go through them, your golf cart is street legal anywhere, you have an actual tag.
Yeah.
The decal is only for the town. And you don't have to make it street legal through,
So if you register and you get the decal, you can operate the golf cart on the town streets.
in the town, right? But only in the town.
Right.
This could be fun. I feel like the first one would be the big, and everyone would be golf cart for sure.
Yeah, people getting.
Yeah. And that's increasing the price,
Yeah.
making it more difficult for you to buy one.
Amador, thank you for being here and doing the report. Correct me if I'm wrong, the last council meeting, there were a bunch of residents that came because they passed the ordinance, but unfortunately, the council members were not well informed of what implies that some stuff can be approved by us, but it doesn't go by the statutes, the Florida statutes, so there was a big confusion and some of the residents were complaining because they had done everything legally to drive their golf carts, but there were some that didn't have them. And there were kids, let's say at midnight, driving those golf carts through the town and they were concerned. So they, I think one of the council members, Tony Fernandez, who used to be one of our members, said that he was gonna bring, or I don't know, somebody was gonna speak to us to address the issue of the golf carts. I know we're having our event, but this issue of the ordinance is very critical. Because from what I heard part of the presentation that they had, or the item when it came up, and then I had to leave. And I listened to the video afterwards. It's an issue of compliance and safety, because, like, you don't want your kid at midnight driving a golf cart when the kid doesn't even have a license to drive a car. So, and they were saying that the reinforcing of the ordinance or the law is for, they couldn't drive it, for example, 154 or 67, it had to be within the secondary streets and driving at a slow pace, not driving it at, I see them on my street, the kids go, well, whoa, what happened there? And they go,
How did they go? How did they go, please? That's bad. That is fast. You got me
So
without
that's something that I think we have to follow up with the council or the manager to see what's the update on the ordinance, because I know they were gonna, they did not want to, what was the word they used,
Here, retract.
not retract, but to, have a moratorium. I think that was the word they used, on that ordinance, but they wanted to address the issue of the safety.
Yeah, I think they thought that in the council meeting, they were gonna be able to do whatever the verbiage is to like stop it. But the people that came out were like, listen, we did it right and you guys allowed it. And so the councilman said, yeah, you're right. We enacted this. You guys came out, you did it the right way. Why are we gonna penalize you now? So they continued it. They left it the way it is. But I do know that one big thing is the speed, but also in the reverse, in that they're very slow. And the speed limit is a little bit higher. So they want to bring down the speed limit town-wise to 25 to kind of match the golf carts, because their speed is like 19. So they want to, because a lot of complaints are. Yeah, the thing with the kids, and the thing with the kids too is that, because I think they're conflating two things. One is there's some things that can't be done that are completely legal, and having the ordinance or not having the ordinance doesn't make a difference, because the kids riding at midnight just shouldn't be done regardless if there wasn't an ordinance or not. And I think what's happening is they were doing it before, but now the ordinance came in, and now they're saying, oh, because of the ordinance. Well, no, they were doing it before. They were riding around just the same. It's just before the complaints were really coming in. I guess now people are going, oh, but you're allowing it. No, nobody's allowing it anymore. They shouldn't be doing it regardless. And then if they are, somebody needs to call 911, because that's the other problem people don't call. Oh, kids are riding by, but nobody calls 911.
Is there a law that restricts the age for the user?
Yeah, well, because the thing is, in a field, a golf cart in a field, not decal or.
Right.
You can be 14 and drive it. You don't have a driver's license or anything.
That's the minimum age.
That's the minimum age. But it's in like a private setting.
Right, which that's typically where they would be used. in the
That's
past.
typically where they would.
Now it's when they're exposing it
Yeah.
out to the public streets.
Spreading into the states.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
14, so 14 will be.
14, yeah. But now, when, like, what he was saying with an actual tag, like.
Then that becomes a motor vehicle.
That is a vehicle, that is 16.
Then it's 16 with a license.
Yeah, class C 16, regular
Right.
life. And the decal falls under that.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, the decal falls under that.
Oh,
So
wow.
you can't drive it at 14 because you're on the street. The
Got it.
decal. Yeah.
Ah.
Well, the thing about it is that's what we think. Because remember, golf carts are made to be on the street.
Correct.
So there's a legality issue with that too.
You can drive your golf cart on the streets if you with a license or no?
Well, the
No
town.
decal, no decal.
Yeah, no, right, no, because they're not street legal.
Outside.
But if you make it street legal through the state,
Right.
so you get a tag, then yeah, but it requires, basically it's a car, it's a little car. Because they have to go a little bit faster.
Lights, brake lights, blinkers,
Lights, you have
mirrors,
windshield, you have the mirrors, blinkers, speed belts.
bell.
No, it
Be
is.
a.
Comes
a
with
horn.
that?
And it isn't a golf cart
If
anymore.
you buy a
it's a
new
low
one,
speed
it comes
vehicle.
with
It's a low speed.
I think
Oh,
it's
not a golf cart.
it's our question, it goes
So the
for-
golf cart remains on the field. Now
Got
it's
it.
a low speed vehicle.
So that's what they're calling it.
So it's getting complicated.
It is.
Yeah.
I got a picture.
Well, yeah,
And I'll tell you guys something that because I was at the meetings, and what I didn't hear, which I wished I would have heard, was no one said, what happened, what's the legality with the town? By the town allowing this, somebody gets in an accident,
Right. Collaborative.
how liable is the town? And nobody asked that. And that's my biggest question, is what would happen? Because really, that's where the town would say, are we gonna do this or we're not? Because are they gonna protect themselves, or are they gonna put themselves into that situation or not?
All right. Any other questions on that?
So all I wanted to do is I wanted to make a comment is, as to the bike ride, and I'm doing now since he brought it up. You know, it was an awesome turnout this time around. It was a really good ride. A lot of people turned out. One thing I wanted to know is the photos that we take, what happens to them?
I shared them with the team, so that's, because we're on the topic. Before we go to the bike ride, because I want to finish off what you guys were talking about the golf cart. They very clearly said that you guys were gonna be doing this. This is a new event, the whole culinary golf thing, so if you guys do want to pursue that, please keep in mind that it has to go beyond the committee agrees on it. You guys do have to take it to council
Yes.
as a new event, so just keep that in mind. And also, just to take based on what you're saying, the staff recommendation for that is because council is currently revisiting all that, is to wait until that's pretty much settled and they deliberate on that before you guys move forward with trying to propose an event with golf carts. And then for the bike ride. At the last meeting, you guys asked if we could use photos and videos. So I shared them with the team. However, just so you guys know, we're working with our videographer to see if he can put together videos of the culinary, but without the food. So that we're kind of just promoting the bike ride, the regular bike ride. So they're working on that so that we can start pushing that out also.
Okay, well, the other aspect that I was thinking of is the ability, we could send out the photographs that we do take that like you took, and I think we had a photographer there that was taking.
Yeah, I can share those with you
Is
guys.
sharing those with the participants of the ride. Because I've asked, I had a couple of people asking me like, hey, look, I was on the ride, you guys took some pictures, can we see those and stuff like that? Because that's where you're gonna get more people. Like, I can tell you, I don't know if I think it helped out a little bit. Is I went ahead and I posted the event on the I Love Miami Lakes page, and a lot of people started liking it, and I got like private messages from people. So this is a great event, and I'm so glad that I had no idea about this. And I think that got out some more people, some of the new people that came out. So it's doing those types of things, but when people are saying, hey, look, this is the event that I wanted, that organic aspect of getting the social media, when people are saying, hey, look, I was at the bike ride, I get that bike ride, it's gonna start generating even more people, we can get more people out to the event, because it was really good. It
Yeah.
was it was a lot warmer than January. Yeah, that's really cool.
I have a video that I took, I can email it to you.
Okay.
A video of everybody.
Yeah.
So,
You had a couple of your guys that were stopped when they were blocking, I saw them taking videos. and stuff.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, one of the things that we're trying to do, for this is, well, not just for neighborhood improvement, for other committees in general. Naturally, some residents are more inclined to events, whether it be neighborhood improvement, cultural affairs, like it depends on what they're into. So we want to do committee-specific newsletters that go out. But for us to do that, there has to be, we have to have enough to like right about to send that out. So, once you guys get all your quarterly meetings all set in terms of topics and all that, that's something that we can incorporate in those photos.
Okay.
But, I can look into doing like a post-event recap.
Yeah.
For those participants.
Yeah, and just do, if they put it like on a shared drive and because I've had other events that will do it from other organizations, what they'll do is they'll send out, hey, look, here's a link. It's kind of like a Dropbox type of feature or something like that, so where everybody can go and they can go download the photos or they can take a look at them if they want. Because that kind of, they can use it as well and they're, one, it makes them feel, hey, look, they captured photos and stuff like that, it's fun. But, overall, this last ride was a lot of fun, pretty cool. Got to go see the whole other side, the whole west side, we hadn't seen that area in a while.
Nice.
I
And,
like
and,
the route a lot.
Yeah, it was a good
and to
route.
your question, that was a topic that,
Says it, bro.
that's in progress. I didn't get up. How did that happen? That's the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah.
It might be
Oh,
delayed.
There we go. I'm like,
No, it's still not live.
Yeah, it is, because this, is what you were saying photos.
No, because I'm not looking at it.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, it's not live. Oh, it's behind a few like seconds or minutes.
See, look look at the time thing on the bottom. Yeah, it's about like. few minutes.
it's
Yeah, but it's
got a
cool,
delay.
it's recording. Oh, you
Yes.
guys are good.
No, but I'm saying if you go at the bar at the bottom, go back to the screen. There, you can, that time bar, you can go to the right. Click on it right where you're at. No, that's.
At the end, right there.
Should be able to take you to live.
I think it's just lagging, like I just
See,
think it's
it's way
behind a
behind
bit. Because it's caught everything.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Spaceballs?
Yeah.
Like when they're going back and forth.
You dated yourself. So to your question, Javier, did bring it up last time with regards to promotions and stuff like that, so. I presume that the town did something different and that is why maybe we got a little better turnout. To be a little more pushy, a little do, but you guys have social media, did you see anything different? Javier?
Well, other than, like, I posted it on the I Love Miami Lakes.
Right,
And I reshared when the town had posted on their social media, I had shared it. And I know that I saw when I posted on my I Love Miami Lakes, I think we got 1 or 2 other additional shares. And people I know had messaged and said, oh, this is a great idea. I hadn't seen about it. And people had also personally messaged me about it. So it's just getting that information. I'm gonna continue reposting it into I Love Miami Lakes. When we have it, 'cause, you know.
that's what we're doing, I guess. We're trying to repost.
Yeah.
I don't have social media, so I don't say about
That's what you said.
posting or reposting.
We put it on the neighbors app.
Oh, I
So
saw
it was a part of it.
Okay,
Oh,
So
and
are
for
we
the
gonna
next
have
one,
not a motion, but something about the 60?
no, there's nothing there,
Huh?
not just information provided, that's all.
keep in mind that for your March bike ride, Bike 305 is supporting that one. They, from what they last told me, they're coming out to that one. And I know you brought up the helmet thing, I think you told me and stuff. One of you that was there told me if we could, ask me if we could do helmet fittings. So we're looking to see if we can order some and we can have whoever
Okay.
certified to do them at that
That's
rate.
a free agent.
Cody, are you still serving?
Yeah.
Where's it gonna be?
You guys are part of me.
Okay.
It's St. Patty.
Oh, that's right, you have to wear green.
Yeah, a lot of people showed up in their sports. for this last one.
Yeah, people were into it.
You were there?
Cute.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
I had my gator.
I had my gator app.
All right, we're gonna move on to announcements.
Oh, I don't know if it's part of an announcement. I think it was one of the. New business, I think it was, the father fishing tournament. Unfortunately, the CSA committee did not second the collaboration with us.
Okay,
So you can come fish and you bring the kids, so, but they don't want to have anything to do with the lake awareness or. Unfortunately. You
okay,
can come fish, bring the kids.
awesome.
Fun event.
Thank you for the FYI.
We covered.
I'll order shirts for the committee.
Oh, I have to pay for them.
I think you guys need to reopen order of business, because there's quite a couple of things that you asked me to update you on and you don't have it in your agenda.
Uh-oh.
We're just going through announcements, so we can announce it there. That's announcements, I don't think.
You're gonna make me everything on your announcement? No, because you had a whole checklist here.
Right, there's a few items that's what I'm shaking, I'm going through it, how many do you have?
Yeah, the one day.
Right,
So the first item.
I don't think you
Announcement
guys should be
teachers.
through announcements. I think this should have been added as part of the agenda, but if you guys are comfortable with it, we'll go ahead. Current list of HOA contacts and share with group. I sent an updated one
Yeah, I got
to you
it.
guys and I reshared the one that you sent me, which is the local state.
Yeah.
We talked about golf carts, grant opportunities. That response from the grants department was also provided to NIC via email. Can the town paint the columns? Part of what I sent you guys a couple weeks ago was also an update that there is construction going on in that area. So the grants department, they're not gonna be touching anything in regards to beautification. until that concludes, and that's underway until, or right now through 2024. If you guys want to revisit that, then you can.
That far out to 2024?
There's,
I know I connected you.
We
with
looked into that a lot yesterday, so we're
Coordinator.
in touch.
Hopefully he'll have some updates for you guys next month,
She,
or if you want to bring it. to the
oh,
meeting,
me,
yeah.
evening, yes, I am.
And then invite marketing department to discuss content calendar. Just so you guys are aware, a council member did bring this up. So this is a point of discussion. They've already, given directions to the communications department, and we're developing a cohesive plan to share with all the committees and all the residents on how information is spread and all that. So that includes that. If you guys want to share suggestions, you're more than welcome to give it to us to review. And then order combination, you were the only one I was missing for the shirt, and you agreed that you want one. So I did the math with all 7 shirts, and it is $48. I don't know if you guys want to look into another vendor. If not, I
For
can
sure.
pull the trigger.
What do the shirts look like?
That's, and,
What
and
vendor
just,
is it?
that's because we're using a new vendor, and there's a setup fee the first. That's really where the big cost is coming from.
Okay, that's only like $25.
But it's set up fee for town logo, the embroidery of the text, and
Does that have to go through
the.
the town procurement? if they need?
No, you guys can, if you have another vendor, because I think one of you mentioned that as the bike ride, we can do it with another vendor.
I'll send you the information.
So here's my feedback on that. First of all, we have to understand the cost of things have gone up to the sky roof. So back in the days, it used to be $25, $35. The only thing is, if I see that we continue to complicate things, and I'm okay in you sending another company, just maybe so we can, but if there's a vendor ready that's doing it, that's working with us, it's only $10 or something like that in difference. I mean, I can care less. We should just stick to, the one that is already doing it, unless, of course, now you're talking about if it's a, $30, $40, $60 difference, but if not, my opinion, we should stick to somebody that's already doing it for the town, they're doing it for the other committees. So if there's any issues or anything, that way, we're not working separately with another vendor other than, the rest of the committees.
What do the shirts look like?
Let me see if I have one.
I think the blue.
Maybe blue.
the material, the material.
Yes, and it's not dry fit.
Just like that.
Yeah, that's-
A little different because it's a different,
Yeah, you would have your neighborhood footnote.
What's that?
Projected $48.
and I want, when, I need to kind of do one side.
Yeah, I think I have you on the.
Yeah.
I'll double check.
And the sizes,
I have the sizes of you guys. I have the sizes from all of you.
I don't think I can my size.
Yeah, because we talked about this months ago. So I have the
Can
sizes.
you check?
Well, I don't know about you, but
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Or-
Play the fifth, that is private information. Thank you for putting me on the spot of public record.
I don't have you.
Alright. So Felicia, with
I'm
regards to
still
her
sending you the
updates,
information.
you have this list here. So all you have to do is just whatever comments, just add it into, that's at the back of the minutes.
No, one
Yep, so you can just put you see, everything's already.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, I just do it.
I have a question, about that. Are we? Well, and also for the committee, we used to meet at a different day, time of the month, etc. I know that changed because of COVID and the town wanted everything on a date, so it made it easier for staff. I feel like things have changed a little bit, right? Because at that point, it was one person that was gonna meet like throughout all of the different committee meetings, so that makes sense, but like you have to come like later in the day because you don't have the committees like beforehand, right?
No, she does today.
Or you, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this day, yes.
Yeah, so like you don't, like you have to, whatever, I guess what I'm saying is like, it doesn't, the reason why it was changed no longer applies, is really what I'm saying. Can we change the meeting dates
Actually, I'll talk on that. We actually did that already. We did address it after the pandemic, and this was actually the date and time that we chose.
Are you
Yes.
serious?
I am 100% serious. Yes. Yeah, it was already addressed. As a matter of fact, it was addressed with all the committees, just not our committee. And we actually had a meeting in which we picked the day and the time. And she doesn't only come for this one.
Yeah.
There's another one that starts before us, and then this one comes.
No,
Ah.
I do come for you guys.
Yeah.
I do not.
But the other one?
It's coming
No,
up.
it's not. But there's not a meeting for me.
Oh, they took
Yeah.
that committee away from you?
That one, I don't know who's,
Because
youth
William-
activities, I think is the one that's.
You used to sit because I used to come and I used to see you on the meeting before, unless there was another meeting, but.
They do like a subcommittee or something. But there is normally youth activities right before you guys. I believe they're the ones that coincide with your. with your
With our
schedule.
dates.
Next
Okay.
person.
All right, well, listen, the time is fine with me, but, I figured I'd bring it up because I didn't think we had talked about it.
We did.
All right. All right,
Thank you.
okay.
Have a good one.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, motion to adjourn, 10:08. Second.
Second.
When is our
Second
next meeting?
by